Today, it's a candid conversation about live launching. That's right. We launched last week, the week before, and we've come out the back end of a launch. And just like I promised, I am going to share with you what worked, what didn't, and what is next. It is a deep dive into our sexy numbers. Did we hit our targets? And if you didn't watch a couple of weeks ago when I had another candid conversation pre-launch, I would recommend that you go back and watch that, because you'll be able to see what our goals were and how high they were. And then today I'm going to get into, did we hit them or not? As always, hang on in as we kick off with our theme song, the Sparkle Song, and I'll be back in 3.5 as we wait for our VIPs to jump on in. Looks like we have no music. Where has my music disappeared to? Oh, the joys of updates on the computer. Yep, no sound coming through. Why are you not playing my sound? All right. Probably has something to do with the recent updates. Or I haven't rebooted my machine. That would probably be another reason why. So much for getting a few things set up in the background while we waited. All right. Well, we'll just do the countdown and I'll sing to you. Go ahead and shine. Oh, dear. All right. I've got Deborah Garber in the house. I have something exciting to show Deborah today. Yes, I do. Hang around till the end, Deborah. I've got some exciting stuff to show you today. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. All right, we've got 55 seconds. Still trying to get all my bits in a row.
No music today?
No, I don't know why it's not working, so I'm just talking on through it right now. Well, I thought I'd have time to pull up all my bits, and while the music's going, everyone can jam. But no music. I don't know why it's not working. But also, I haven't rebooted my machine for like, oh God, I don't ask.
Yeah.
All right. Well, make sure I get all my numbers up. Go ahead and shine and sparkle. All right, we're down to it, and I haven't got everything open, but it near enough is good enough. Hey, all right. Now, we have no idea why do we have no music? And then I've got a reverb of my sound in my ears. So my team's going to be checking the streaming places to make sure we are not sounding like two Sallys in the screen. Otherwise, this whole recording is going to be useless. The joys of live. Hang on. How is the sound on the lives? Please. I did ask them. Alrighty. So, candid conversation about, it feels really weird to start without having music before we start. Anyway, I digress. We had launch. So for those who don't know, we love living the launch lifestyle, which means once every so often we choose a week and we go live and we teach stuff to people. And off the back end of that, some people will join our program. So our goal was to get just over 2% of those people who joined the Facebook group to join our program. There's some big numbers coming. And did we hit our goal? So our goal was to hit at least $100,000 in sales. That was our goal. Did we hit it? No, we did not. But I'm okay with that because we had a few problems along the way. So first was because it was my first large build inside the software and still also fulfillment of client work, my internal stuff kept getting pushed and delayed. So when I wanted to get the ads on, I didn't get them on. And usually when it's the first time we run a brand new hook, I like to turn them on usually a couple of weeks out so I can start testing what's going to work. And then we sort of start to dial it in and dial it in. Then when we get to the second and third launch, we already know what works. And I only turn the ads on about 7 days before an event because generally speaking, most people that join in the last sort of 3 to 4 days are the ones that are actually going to attend and show up. And those that joined ages ago probably forgot that they even registered. So when the live event comes around, more of those people don't end up showing up to the event. However, because it was the first time we'd run this challenge called the Hidden Client Challenge, which was about finding hidden clients in your community groups and also using live streaming because 80% of your viewers are actually on replay and most of your people, they don't talk, they just stalk. And so what you would do is we would run our ads, we would fill our event, and I said that my ad spend was going to be up around the $20,000 mark. So that meant if I wanted to hit 6 figures, I would have to 5x my ad spend. And I always try to get my ad spend back in the first 30 days so that I can then reinvest that. Now, generally when I'm running it for the first time, I'm usually happy if I get it back in the first 60 to 90 days until I dial it in because everything is about testing and making data-driven decisions. So the first goal was to spend $20,000 to get the leads in to then close over 100K, which would have been 6 figures, and I would have 5x'd my investment. What did we do? Well, we 10x'd our investment. We did. But also, what happens is as you start to spend more money, your ROI actually comes down, right? So even though I wanted to spend $20,000, we spent just over $5,000. Why is this? Well, I got my ads on late. So I didn't really have a lot of time to test. So generally I would test a few $100s on an ad set each day. I would wait until a certain amount is spent before I make a data-driven decision to see what changes. Because I only got them on less than a week before the event started, I couldn't scale my ads. And because I had a brand new Facebook ads account, and I'm going to prove that you can start from zero and still make it, I had a brand new ads account. And it was because I lost my 20-plus-year-old Facebook account at the end of last year. And we've had nothing but a headache trying to get everything back. But they wouldn't let me spend. It was coming in pretty good. Like I said, I wanted my leads to be somewhere between the sort of $25 to $35 mark. Now, I know that's quite high for some people, but I am in the marketing industry. And who am I competing against? Other marketers. Therefore, my cost per lead is going to be much higher than, say, a B2B. I'll give you a good example of that. A B2C. We run a Canva Made Easy challenge, and I can get leads at under $4, but that's to people who just want to make pretty pictures, right? But because I'm targeting business owners who really want to scale and grow, they want automation. Even we have coaxed people after attending challenges that going live is actually pretty okay. We had a few brand new people who had never went live, and someone who was not confident in going live, and they ended up joining our program because before the challenge, they never thought they ever wanted to go live. So that was a pretty exciting thing, that we got people going live for the first time, and then also having somebody who was not confident in going live also joined our program because they could see the value and they gained more confidence in themselves. So that was so cool. Now, before I go any further and give you some really deep dive into the sexy numbers, I do want to mention that there is a grand prize draw that gets drawn at the end of this week. And what it is a mapping session with me, which is valued at over $5,000. And in that mapping session, you will get, you book me for the day, right? I sit there and I pull apart your brain. And from that, I create your signature method and your lesson planning. Then I take that signature method and I turn it into an infographic and hang around till the end, because I do have a client here I can see in the room who I'm going to show later that I have finished their infographic. Also, we create all the foundations of your offer. So the promise, the price, the package, and the program, which is your signature method. On top of that, we will also help to craft all of your messaging. So hooks that you can use, what functional and emotional benefits each step of the program gives the client. And also, I will show you how, when I deliver the infographic, how you can use that in a sales call script. All right. So that's the mapping session. So you literally get me for the day, right? As long as it takes. I do not stop until it's done. I need to have a full, clear understanding of what we're building together from your mouth. Then I go away and I spend at least the next week writing up your offer, your program, and then about another week I spend creating the infographic. So lots of sketching and drawing and ideas. And then I actually make a proper vector logo. So every element inside of your infographic is not a Canva image. I've actually personally designed every little piece in there using Illustrator. So it's a professional infographic that you could blow up as big as you want, and it would never lose its quality. So it's a pretty awesome package. It's worth way more than $5,000, but we do sell them for $5,000. If you're in the GSD by OmniSam Facebook group, you will actually be able to see some videos of testimonials of people who have had mapping sessions, and they're pretty awesome. I've never had one person leave and say it's not worth it. I've had people coming back and crying that their 20 odd years of knowledge has finally been laid out, or somebody who is not confident in mapping something out finally feeling like they've got structure. So if you want to be in for a chance to win one of those mapping sessions, you need to complete the 3 main tasks from the challenge by the end of this week, and we will be doing a grand prize draw. So the 3 main areas is the start here section in the guides, the home play days 1 to 5, and the Sparkle Live in 5 days 1 to 5. So I can tell you currently on Team Ash, all of these people have started but not yet done each of those tasks. So we've got on Team Ash, Alison Eads, Sarah McCall, Bridget Berner, Chris Ramsden, Deborah Garbra, Dominic sovereign gentleman pen. I think he called himself brother on his live. Manuel, Sierra, and Sharon Sawtell. On Team Sarah, we had Dewey Bone and Zoe Wood. Team Sally, whoop whoop, we had Emma Fisher and Linda Hainsworth. And on Team Beverly, we had Tammy K. Murphy and Sarah Lowell. So all of these people had at least started doing those 3 pieces of homework for each day, or the start here and then the daily home play and daily lives. If you want to be in for a chance to earn, I won't say win because it's like, well, you're still winning because it's going to be a wheel spin, but earn one of those offer creation mapping sessions. Honestly, I only try to do 1 a month. Right, I actually did 2 in a month, and it's a lot of work. So generally only 1 a month. So that means you will be my November one. So get out there and finish those home plays from the GSD by OmniSam. Head into that Facebook group. You will also find the replays to the videos over on YouTube. Facebook does delete videos in 30 days now too, I've noticed, from live streams. So there we go. So don't miss out on a chance to win a grand prize mapping session with me. I'll drop some more testimonials in the group later on for you to check out. All right, let's get back into those numbers. So let me come over here and let me share them with you on the screen. So the total leads we got was 251 leads. Now, the people that joined the Facebook group, from those leads, we had 55. So our conversion rate was 21.9%. Now, for me, that's low. So I know there's a gap there. Now, 20% is within our benchmark industry standards, but I know that I normally get usually over 60%. I held steady after we tweaked and measured and optimized for the last challenge at over 70%. So there's a gap there. There's something I need to look through at that initial stage of when they register that is not getting them into the Facebook group. And I've got a few ideas around that, and I think it may have been the way in which I set up the lead form. Because what I found was my lead cost when I was going straight to that landing page versus to a lead form, there was a massive difference in price, like $60 a lead versus our actual cost per lead so our CPL ended up being $21.35. So that's how much it cost me per email address to get them into to get them on my list. Then 55% of those ended up in the Facebook group. So what did we end up closing? So our spend that we did on ads, we spent $5,359, give or take. That was our ad spend. Then what I like to look at is first cash generated. So cash generated means those people that paid up front and those people that paid the first month on a payment plan. This is what I want to happen. In that 30 days, the upfront payments from when we close is more than the money I spent on ads. And we generated upfront $13,210. That's how much we generated upfront. So we 1.3x'd just over the ad spend. So I'm happy. Now I've got my $5,000 to put back into ads when we run them again. I've covered my cost, and now every other month coming in from other people on a payment plan is going to continue to give me that monthly reoccurring revenue. Now, I'll tell you something that I've also done. 10,000 of that 13,000, I actually put it into a drip account, and it is going to drip back into the business every month as if that person was on a payment plan. That way, I don't spend beyond my means. And this is what can happen when, say, you do a really good launch and you might make $83,333, which is actually a $1 million business if you make that per month. And where you can make a mistake is you actually start spending like you're a $1 million business because you had 1 month at $83,333. I've been in that situation myself. For some reason, I think it was 2 or 3 launches, I forgot about the drip account. This must have been about 3-4 years ago. I forgot about the drip account. And I kept spending and doubling my ad spend without putting money into the drip account to drop back in. Come to November, December, I'm wondering, why am I all of a sudden like running low in money? Why is my cash flow ridiculously low? And I realized I had forgotten over 3 launches not to put upfront payments into a drip account, which meant, say, for example, every new client was another $1,500 dripping back, and maybe I had, say, 10 of those. That's a lot of money a month that I'm not dripping back. I've already spent it. I've gone crazy and spent $100,000 on ads. And now the cash flow's up shit creek. And you learn from your mistakes. I can tell you it took me a little while to crawl back out of that hole that I dug myself from not using the drip account. So lesson well learned, and I no longer forget the drip account. Even Ash said to me when we heard we had an upfront, she goes, drip account. And she wasn't even around when that happened. So she must have heard the stories on the grapevine. So that there are some of the sexy numbers. But the total revenue with contracts closed and signed was $53,000, almost $900 in total revenue closed from my 5,000. Oh, it literally is pretty much 10x'd from 5,300 to 53,000. Now, some of those clients or new clients were warm leads. I don't and just ignore them because they were already thinking about it, because one launch leads into the next launch, leads into the next launch, one nurture leads into the next nurture to the next nurture. It's that snowball effect. This is why we look at the live launch numbers and anybody we closed because of the launch. Some of them might have been thinking about joining for a while, but the launch was the thing that pulled them over the line. And I know for sure there was a few people who joined that had that. So we also, if we break this down even further, our cost per lead was $21.35 for an email, but our value per lead was $214.73, which meant every lead we paid $21 for, and in return, we made $214 from the $21 that we spent for each lead. Then for the cost per acquisition, so what did it cost us to close a sale in total ad spend from number of sales, it cost us $1,339.99. So for each person that said yes, it cost us $1,339 to get a yes. Now, we were speaking about my goal here for Facebook group joins at 21%, because based off the 21% or 21.9%, we goal for 2% of those people who join the Facebook group end up becoming a client. But guess what our Facebook group conversion was? Pretty awesome. It was actually 7.27% of people who were part of the Facebook group who joined. Now, that is well above industry standards. Now, I will say I pretty much know why, because a few of those people were already pretty warm, right? But I can say that some of the people that said yes hadn't even heard about us and our community prior to the event. They just really loved the crazy knock, 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 knock video that I had running. They joined, they came through the challenge, and they're like, this is just what I want. So generally speaking, your active list that you have, 2% of your active list is usually ready to say yes. The reason why you're probably not getting those yeses is because of your follow-up. We have been reaching out to people. We have been making phone calls. We have been sorting those people into lists so we can see how many people did the home play and the homework, who are hot, who are warm. Through our automation as well, we can create lead scoring. So the more they engage and interact with our emails, with our text messages, the more points they get, and the warmer or hotter they look on our list. So we're always tracking live attendees, home plays, start here's, comments in the group, comments on the posts in the group, and those who hit the DMs with their success coaches, people who reply to emails and also SMSs. So all of these different conversation points are all places at which we go, give a point to that person. They've commented on a Facebook post. Give a point to that person. They've done home play. They've done the Live in 5 challenge. They're talking to their success coach. They're talking via SMS. They answered the phone when we called. So there's all these different things that we can track to see which leads continue to need to be followed up. Now, some of the people that started participating, we may not see them again until the next challenge. So to kind of wrap this up, we wanted to spend $20K. I could only just spend over $5,000 on ads because of my new ads account. So I was restricted. There was one day I put my ad spend on one ad up to $500 and it got me one lead and I shit myself and I turned it off. Now, if I had a little bit more money to play with, I may have let it continue to run, but I already had ads that were doing pretty good and coming in at around that 21. So we definitely hit our numbers if you look at ROI on our investment. We 10x'd our investment when I was trying to 5x our investment. So that's good. But we couldn't spend as much as we wanted to try and get more clients. So that's not as good. What that means is that staff member that I wanted to hire when we hit the 6 figures, they're going to have to wait, right? It just is what it is. Then the second part is there's a big gap. I know that normally I get well over 50 to 60%, and I held steady at 70% conversion rates from Facebook, from opt-in to Facebook group. So there's a bit of a gap there. I need to go back and re-look at what the reminders are that are going out to people to get them to join the group. I have to go back and see, once they opt in, where do they go? Because they're opting in through a form, they need to click the button, like a Facebook form. They need to click the button on the bottom to go to the next step. And if they don't, then they're not going to see go join a Facebook group. So maybe I'll switch it to join Facebook group on the end. When we looked through the quality of the leads, I would also say another reason why a lot of them didn't make it into the Facebook group could be lead quality. So this is the first time in many, many, many years that I ran a lead form ad on Facebook Meta. Normally, I run a lead generation ad that is click a button, go to a landing page. This time I did click a button, fill in a Facebook form to opt in, and then go to a landing page. The thing I believe happened with the form is when people click on it, it automatically pre-populates their name, their email, and there's the optional phone number field. Think about Facebook. Who signed up for Facebook many, many moons ago and doesn't have access to their old Facebook email address, or, does hardly ever checks it because it's probably a spam account by now? And that's what my old account was. It was such an old email address. I only went into it when I needed like a 2-step verification to get into Facebook or something. It was hardly ever. So that could be one reason why. Also, it's quite dumbed down. It's like click a button, it's already filled in, click a button, you're registered. It's like there's no qualification of any sort in that form. And I think because that form is so easy to click and register, we need to put a little question. And I spoke to our ads guy, John, about this the other day, and he said he actually puts a little question on the lead form, so at least they've got to stop and think. Do you own a business? Yes. Right, something as simple as that, so that we know we're getting business owners. So that's another area that we can improve to, even if the opt-ins to the Facebook group were low, the quality of the lead could have been better, which in itself could have increased the conversion into the Facebook group. So there's a couple of things to look at there. The other one is in the emails that go out, the hierarchy that we really need to happen is join the group before anything else, because our baseline conversion is from total people who joined the Facebook group. That doesn't mean people aren't going to watch the replay hub and all of that, but tell me a person out there that doesn't have a Facebook account. There's hardly anybody, right? Most people do. And at the end of the day also, we are teaching people how to grow a community. That's what we do. The main things we help people with is setting up their automation, running some type of training to teach people stuff, build a community to nurture, and then close them into customers. So that's what we teach. So also bringing people into the Facebook group is part of our model. That doesn't mean that if you come in here, you have to build a Facebook group. You can build your own community inside of OmniSam if you want to, or you could build it in WhatsApp or wherever you like. But it's about bringing people into one place. It's about building community. And guess what? I've been doing it for years. Like, I couldn't tell you, I wish I had my old account, how many groups I was a member of. My mission in the early days was to request to join at least 10 groups a day, every day. Every day, every day. Remember, don't go to bed until you've got 10 new leads. Don't go to bed until you've got 10 new Facebook group joins. You'll probably get into 2 or 3 of them. The rest of them, admins may not look at them for a while. So that was one of my earlier, the 10-10-10 method. Get 10 emails, join 10 communities, comment in 10 places so that I could grow organically. A lot of hard work. It is organic. So we had a pretty decent launch all in all. When I compare that we 10x'd, we were, a lot of our numbers probably weren't as good as we would like. But again, let me tell you about our show up rate. So generally, we don't want our show up rate to drop too much, right? So we want it to stay above 15% drop off rate. And our benchmark is between 8 to 15% drop-off rate in the lives, and less than 8% means you're doing something wrong in your lives to get people to come back. So on day 1, of course, there's no drop-off rate because it's day 1. Day 2, we had a 0 drop-off rate, which means the same amount of people that came to day 1, we had the same amount of people attend day 2. Might have been different people, but we still had the same amount of people. Day 3, we actually went down 50%. Just over 50% or just less than 50%. So there's something I did on Tuesday that didn't excite people enough to come back on Wednesday. Then on the Thursday, 0 drop-off rate. So perfect, right? 0%, 0 change. So the same amount of people came the following day. And then on the last day, we actually had an increase. We had more people join on the Friday than were there on the Thursday. So there was really only one day out of all of the days that we dropped off. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch what happened on day 2 that may have stopped people from coming back on day 3. I'll also consider, was there an event on that day around the world somewhere? Was it a public holiday? So I'll take into consideration a few things, I'll tweak it, and I'll see what happens next time if I can get those people back in on day 3. So these are all our little numbers that we track, and inside the program we do give you a little Excel spreadsheet that you just pop in your numbers, and what it will do is it will turn the color of your cells either green for above the benchmark, yellow for within benchmark, and red, there's a hole. So if you see a red, they're the first ones we're going to look at. There we go. So I'm just checking I covered all of the bits in my little spreadsheet there for you. So if you're going to live the launch lifestyle and you want to share your inner sparkle with the world, then keep an ear out for when we run our next launch. We have officially closed the doors for our October cohort. We only bring in 12 to focus on. We've got 11. There is actually one more spot. If there's 2 people that were on the fence, I will give them until our official orientation call happening later this week. But otherwise, we are nearly at capacity for this launch because we need to spend the time now focusing in on and building alongside of and helping all of those people that are coming through the October cohort. So our launch method, because we are really digging deep and practicing what we preach, I'm going to do what I said I did last time I hit the 7 figures, was I ran the same thing on repeat for 18 months and we hit 7 figures. Now that I'm back and rebuilding this business again, I'm just going to do exactly what I did last time to prove that this method works. Not only I've seen it happen with our clients, but to prove it again myself, that you can start with 0 and not being allowed to spend money on your ads and be able to get these sorts of results by continuously testing and tweaking. We build the foundation, strong foundation once, and you run the training on repeat. Now, depending on whether you're going to do, say, a webinar, which is just a one and done, I would say run it a few times in the same week. If you want to do the challenge method, there's a few more moving pieces and a lot more content that you will need to create. However, it does give you room for movement because you can test lots of different content. And because you've got 5 or 3 different days in which you can, still do a full webinar style, but test different things. So I personally love the challenge method because I get to show up for 5 days, hang out with people. Now, generally on a rotation of the challenge, we would say minimum gap is 6 weeks. Trying to finish a launch and rolling into another launch in less than 6 weeks, it's really hard to do. Really hard to do. 8 weeks is comfortable. You could go out to 12 weeks once your numbers are good. Then, if you get really, really good at it, then you just spend big twice a year and do it twice a year, right? But you've got to scale to get there because nobody can just whip out 200K and throw it on ads tomorrow. Not many people anyway. As you're starting, right, where we all can't be an Amy Porterfield or a Tony Robbins, but we can still be a leader in our field. As long as you show up, you be consistent, and you stick with it. Because this method does work, but you've got to follow the recipe. You don't have to do it alone any longer. You get to do it with us, but you still have to do the work. I cannot turn up and do your sales calls for you. And even if you were trying to hire a sales call person, no sales call person wants a job with an offer that has not yet been proven. If you can't close them at 20 to 40%, no sales call person is wanting to come in with an unproven offer because the quality salespeople, they're going to come in with a proven offer. And the only way to prove it is for you to sell it because you're the one who knows it the best. It is your IP. It is your signature method. All right. So there we go. Some sad news that we couldn't hire that new person. Not bad news because we did 10x, but Facebook wouldn't take my money. Oh, who's had that problem in the past? I actually have. When we ran the Canva Made Easy challenge, I could only spend $50 a week. And I'm like, you are kidding me, right? $50? That's like just the morning coffee spend. So run your numbers, do your sexy numbers. If you're part of our program, don't you worry. You don't need to know. You can earn while you learn and bring those sexy numbers to me, baby. I can't wait to see them. All right. As we wrap on up, as always, let's bring a couple of our people in and ask you, what's a key takeaway? What did you like best about today? We have Sarah Lowell in the room. Come on up, Sarah. Hang on, I've got to make sure I can hear you. Yep, talk away.
Can you hear me?
Talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was interesting that you found different conversion rates when you drove the leads to a Facebook form rather than to a landing page. And I'd like to hear more about that.
Just say that again, sorry, because my sound's echoing in my ears and I was trying to get your sound levels right. Just say it again, please, Sarah.
Okay. You mentioned that you had different conversion rates when you drove leads to your Facebook form rather than to a landing page, if I understand that correctly. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Okay. So previously what we did was when we would send them from an ad to a landing page, our cost per lead. Now, this was a different hook, right? So previously, our hook was how to land high-ticket clients using micro Facebook groups. This one is how to find hidden clients in your communities. But previously, our lead cost was usually between $35 to $45. So when I turned on the ads, I turned on two options. I turned on lead form, all the same copy, except I had a lead form as the capture or as the objective. And then I set up a whole nother campaign that had conversions. So click a button, go to a website. I ran that for 48 hours and it was about $70 a lead going to Facebook page. Now I had a very small window to test and to measure because it was less than a week out from the event when I turned on the ads. So where am I going to put my money right now? I'm going to put it at the cheaper one because I was getting 3 leads for the same price as one lead going to the landing page. Now, if it continued at that rate, if you think about it, my cost per lead was $21. Now, if I stayed on the landing page, my cost per lead would have been $45. But my value per lead would still remain the same at $214. So I still would have been in profit, but I went for the lower hanging fruit, the cheaper option. And also, I've not run lead form ads in the past, and a lot of things have changed with Facebook ads. So much so that it's so much easier to get to your target audience. Before, you used to have to, in your ad set, choose all these different types of interest groups and age groups and genders and locations, and you don't have to do any of that anymore. None of it. What you only have to do is I choose age group and location. That's it. Everything else, the algorithm now looks at the creative. So previously, you would find one or two ads that are performing well and scale those. But now, because it's creative is generating the leads, you've got to make more creatives than you used to make. So I used to make, and try to find at least 2 creatives that I eventually you just turn them on and off. Now I have to make different creatives because we want to attract course creators, coaches, right? So I've got to use those words in my creative. Typed, images, videos, all of those things are being referenced. Other people, authors, influencers, service-based businesses, health professionals. So I'm running creatives for all these different people to call out to them in the multiple ads. So because one didn't have a very big window to test, so within a short amount of time, I had to make a decision where I want to place my money. Never run lead ads. Loved the look of the price, $21. At one stage, it was down to $16. I'm like, woo, baby. But also, I let the ads run right up until day 4 because I didn't have as much time. But after day 4, I turned off the ads. Normally, I'm turning off the ads on day 2. But again, because of the window. This time, I want to get them on at least 2 weeks before. So we are actually launching, we're doing the 6-week cycle so that I can fit one more in before the end of the year. So our next launch week will be, let me just have a look. I think it's back here. I don't think it's turned on. Turn on the marketing calendar. One moment, please. Go to the marketing calendar. All right, so our next launch, I'm sure I could have just worked it out a little easier if I just counted the weeks, hang on, it's not September, we're finished October and it's in November. Okay, the week of the 17th of November or starting the 16th of November for you in America. So that's 6 weeks out. I've run launches right through until mid-December. I don't like to run them into December. That's why it's 2 weeks before the end of November. It's still going to give us time. If people come in, as you know, we take a break. We'll negotiate with clients coming through. I will still be serving them through Christmas and looking after them, especially our health coaches, because they're all gunning for New Year's resolutions. Anyone in the health space or Sarah, puppy space, new puppies, right? If you don't buy a puppy, don't buy a puppy if you don't want a dog, right? So those people who are goaling for January launches will be still serving and looking after those clients through the break as well, because it's a big thing, right? Launching in January. I know I went off on a tangent, but was that helpful, Sarah?
I think so. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Deborah Garbra, come on up. What was the key takeaway for you? She's looking for the button. There she is.
I'm afraid I don't know that I have any because it's a lot of it goes over my head. I'm not. I mean, I understand obviously what you were talking about and how you calculate the returns and what works best and so on. But it's a field I'm completely unfamiliar with.
For now.
So a lot of what you're saying is like scary for me.
All right. Well, let's just put it
Yeah.
in that don't know yet bucket, right?
No,
You're going to
exactly.
learn
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah.
so let me tell a story about one of our clients. Every week she would come in and let me look at her ads. And every week we would change something. And then she would run her training. And then she would come back and we would look at the numbers. This went on for about 5 months. Nearly every week she would be back for me to quickly look at her numbers and make some tweaks. So around the 5-month mark, she goes, "Oh my God, Sally." I'm like, "What? What? What have I done?" She goes, "I can finally see it. I can finally see it. And I see the gap. I see the hole in the numbers." So nothing changed. She just now could start to make data-driven decisions herself. But I was there and our team were there supporting her until she could. So even though you may not know where to go and get the numbers, we do. We've got the
Yeah.
spreadsheets and the calculations to put it in. I can't
Yeah.
guarantee you're going to be profitable in the first 30 days. Our goal is to at least
True.
get your ad spend back in 90 days when you start. But eventually it does work, right? You've just got to be
Mm.
consistent and willing to constantly measure and optimize once we get past that
Yeah.
first build. So don't let the numbers scare you because the numbers allow us to make data-driven decisions and they're sexy, but you don't need to understand it yet, right?
Yes.
I need
Yeah.
you to focus on your lessons. So you're
Yes.
the person I actually wanted to speak to because
Yes.
I have
I want to
created
speak
your
to you too.
infographic and that is all ready. I have mapped it out, I've given it meaning, and we're now going to start to put it into a pitch deck. I sent you the lesson plan to go through, and it could feel a little overwhelming because it's a lot of lessons, right?
Yes.
I did tell Beverly to say in the email, please tell her do not get overwhelmed, just read, and that's
Yes.
it. All
Yes.
I want you to do is I want you to pick a weekly day that you are going to go live. Okay. And when
Mm-hmm.
you go live, pick one lesson from inside the program and present it live. Start
Okay.
practicing the lessons and you'll start putting, like most of the lesson plans are there. And you don't even need everything that's in that guide. If it says a checklist or a worksheet, tell them to grab a piece of paper and draw the 4 boxes and write the words down. You don't need a workbook. If you looked at my last challenge, there was no workbook. Maybe I'll have time to make a workbook this time. Dunno. Right? So you
Yeah.
don't have to have all the assets. As long as you teach
Mm.
on the important dot points, you could have a little infographic that sort of shows or dot points on a Keynote or Canva presentation, right? Do that and just choose one lesson each week. You might start writing one lesson and think, hey, I can actually probably fit 2 in. Now, those lessons, if they're awesome, stick them in your course,
I
right?
see. I see.
You can start
Because
putting them in your
I saw the
course.
12 modules and I saw all these lessons and I'm thinking, how am I going to create a course with so many lessons? I'm like, it's 12 lessons I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, remember also, you don't have to teach them everything you know, just what they need to know. So some of the lessons can just
In
be a
the
little
course
short.
itself. Yeah, we're talking about
Yeah, exactly. The course
2 different
itself.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So the course itself is each of those lessons. Now, each of those lessons don't have to go for an hour, right? It could be a 5 or 10-minute lesson. That's it. Does not need to be hours of training for every lesson. It could be a 10-minute lesson.
Yeah, but okay, but
We'll
I
dive
need
into it when we
more
actually sit
clarity. Yeah,
down and
yeah.
go through it
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
because if you look at my program, there's a lot of things inside my program. I didn't build it all at once, right? It's an
Yes.
evolution. We grow upon it.
Yeah.
Your students, they don't see that lesson plan,
No, of course not.
right? So as you start delivering your lessons, remember they're part of the live course build. If it takes you more than 12 weeks to build the first course, it takes you more than 12 weeks.
Mm.
Right? But once it's done, then all they have to do is go through module 1 before the Q&A session. You now no longer have to teach module 1.
Mm.
They just come to the Q&A session at the end of module 1. So they're learning, and then you listen to the questions. So by listening to the questions allows you to improve the model or add FAQs or additional resources that support them getting through the program. So as a teacher, we think lesson, we think 45 minutes in a classroom. You are not teaching in a classroom where you've got one lesson that you've got to stand there for 45 minutes and teach. It's not like that at all. It could be a little story, a lesson, and a quick write your affirmation in your book. Right? Not like we would as teachers in a classroom where we've got a big lesson plan, and then we've got to have our objective, which I've given you anyway, your objectives and your outcomes, and and even all the activities I've given you are optional. Maybe the first time through, it's just the education part and ask them what they like best. The second time through, you add an activity in. Right? So what I've given you is the big plan, but not every single thing has to be built. There was a time when I sold my course before I made it. And what I did was I got to week 4 and I realized that I have got way more to teach them and they're not even ready for it yet.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I could have kept going and teaching so I could finish the course for me, or I could stop and just turn up for Q&A and help everybody get to where they needed to be for them. So it is, nothing's written in cement here, right? We also are guided by our students. And this is a really good thing about teaching it live, is we can see holes and gaps that we wouldn't see if we just pre-recorded it and stuck it in a course. You'll teach, you'll hear from your students, oh my God, that was overwhelming. You might reframe it and come back next week and go, I've got an easier way than what I showed you last week. So instead of doing what we were going to do, I'm going to just redo last week because I know a lot of you were confused. Right?
Sure.
So can you see how this is like, it's like a growing, living thing that we're constantly nurturing, we're paying attention to because it's serving our clients. It's like our plants, right? To freshen the air in the house. We nurture them, we look after them, so that they get the results. It's, we do it, we get paid, sure, but really at the end of the day, we do it for them. And if it means sometimes slowing your course down, we slow your course down. Makes sense?
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Has that maybe taken a little bit of pressure off? Oh my God, it's 12 weeks and look at all those lessons.
Yeah, I need to do a lot of sorting out in my mind because I am coming from a perspective of one-on-ones and mentoring, more coaching than mentoring, really. So how to convert that into one-to-many is still a little. I'm not in my mind
not there
so
yet.
sure about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, because I'll tell you, I've had many clients in exactly your same position who have come in and said, it can't be done. I challenge them every time. And when they move to group, they're thankful they have.
Yes.
The power in the group is amazing. That doesn't mean we still don't do one-on-ones.
Yes.
It's just we charge more because it's a lot of trading time for money, because then people will go to group. But those people who want the privacy, they will pay the premium price for the privacy.
Yeah.
But if they don't, you can help more people in group than you ever could in one-on-one.
Yeah. Well, the way I learnt the course itself that I did was in a group. But then I wasn't coming at it from the perspective of someone who's got the problem, but rather from a perspective of a coach who wants to help people who have the problem. On the other hand, 95% of the people who attended did have the problem.
That's exactly right. I was just going to
And
ask you
they were
that.
helped. They were helped. I could see that their processes, but what we were taught is how to do one-on-ones.
Yes.
And so I'm it's a little struggle for me at the moment, but I'm
Mhm.
sure I'll sort it out,
Yeah.
with experience. Once I
That's
do
right.
one course,
Yeah.
and I'm not afraid of working with groups because all my life I've worked with classrooms, in class
Mhm.
with groups, and I know what it feels like,
Mhm.
and I can see the power of the group. It's just to know, I'm not coming from a place of experience of working with many, and I'm still sort of learning the
Yeah.
ropes, so to speak,
And
Yeah.
the best way to learn is
Is to
to
do, teach.
teach. Yeah, to do. The best way to learn is to teach. Even more
Yeah.
than just doing, teaching.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you'll dive
yeah,
deeper into it than you ever would if you were just learning. But when you're teaching, because it's
yeah,
for somebody else,
yeah.
you go deeper.
Of course. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've got a statistic on the differences between reading, listening, doing, and teaching. I can't remember what it is, but
Oh, yeah. There's
yeah,
no
it's
question that once you can teach something, you know it very well.
yeah, exactly. I'm so
Yeah,
excited,
yeah.
Deborah. You're one of my January launches, so you'll be getting ready for the new
I
year.
hope
We'll be
so.
testing some bits and pieces. If you want, I know John Bellamy, our ads guy, he's in this Thursday. If you want to come
Okay.
along, and I can see Ojenga's in the room as well. I'm not sure if Beverly reached out to you, but if you can come to the ad session tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, the next day. Yeah, do that because
What?
I've let him know that you're probably coming along and interested. And
Oh,
I think
what? I wasn't informed, and I have something on Thursday morning. So what time
eight
is it?
o'clock, 8 a.m.
No.
Melbourne time. He's in
All
every other
right. Well,
week, and he's also already lined up to speak to the Scatterbrain Shepherd, so our other Sarah, and Ojenga. So he already knows those two people are coming into the session.
okay.
You are not
Okay.
there yet anyway.
No,
So there's no need
no.
for you to have to come if you've got something else on. I was just thinking
Yeah.
if you want to, you can listen to the replay later, but you got more
Okay.
important things to focus on. All right, let me
Yeah.
show you what I have put together for your infographic. I did not. Let me come back here. I did not set up the scene for it. Maybe. Where's my share screen? This one will do. Chrome Docs. All right. So here we are in your infographic. So this is what I've created for your Eat Free method. So I'll teach you how to use this in your pitch, but as you can see, the Eat Free method. Sever the link between your emotions and food and finally feel free. And so with your branding colors, I've used 3 shades of your green for the eat, and each of these little icons I've designed for you. Then find is in all the shades of your pink. So it starts with a fire in your heart, right? And then you awaken. You can see the heart there in the eye. Transformation, find, reclaiming, and now you're starting to embody. So I've got like a little heart and it's being embodied, and then you can see the swirl is starting and then it's swirling out and evolving into something bigger. So all of these, what I've done, this was from our mapping session, is break down your eat free method. explain what it is, a compassionate step-by-step journey that helps you heal emotional eating from the inside out. Then I've explained each of the graphics and the meanings behind all of the graphics. And then at the bottom, we'll next move into your pitch framework. So this is now inside your Google Drive. So if you head to your Google Drive, not only will you find this document, I've also uploaded the graphic as well for you. So you'll be able to kind of zoom in and get a better look. Because it's a vector image, we can zoom right in, get nice and close. So you'll learn how to use this graphic when you pitch. And you'll be scrolling through like I did with mine. So there we go. That's your infographic, all ready and designed. And you can now access that inside your personal Google Drive. What do you think, Deborah? First look at
It looks beautiful.
Aww.
It looks beautiful. The colors are amazing. I love the colors. I think those colors will appeal to women. I'm not sure if they would to men.
I don't know. They're
But
very dusty. And I find that the
yes.
dusty shades men tend to like. Like my husband will,
Oh, good.
he won't wear a bright pink top, but he'll wear it like one of those dusty kind of pinky
Yes.
colours.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
see why
Yes.
not.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So I'll go over it. Obviously, I need to read it and look at it. Yeah. It looks pretty amazing.
Now, because you are on the done for you, I'll also be helping you map out your pitch. All right. So
Yes.
the actual words that you will use, I've gone through, and I've also, if you go into the signature method document that I have for you, let me just take you back to, which screen was it here? As well as that, I've also added so all the notes and everything that we took, they're all now, go away. They're all now in this section of, so as you know, this is our framework. The design it phase is all here within the Canva document for you. So you can come in here and move things around. You'll also see there are other boards in here for all the other phases. There's nothing on them because we haven't started any of those yet. All right. So your focus is here, getting really used to your method. I'm going to start writing your pitch deck for you. You have to come up with the lesson plans, but I will frame out your pitch. Then our team is going to get to work. Once we know what your lessons are for are you doing a webinar or a 3 or 5 day event? Sorry? Webinar. Okay. So on the webinar, we just need 3 to 4 pillars that you're going to teach through the webinar. So have a look at your whole signature method, and you need to decide, are you going to do a high level overview, or are you going to go deep on one thing? And we need to break it into 3 to 4 pillars. So you're going to teach them 3 to 4 pillars.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we know what those 3 to 4 pillars are, then we can make your landing page and your funnel. We can get started on it, but we can't do the copy until we know what it is. And then the next thing I want you to do.
The landing. Oh,
Yep,
sorry. Can I
There you
ask
go.
a question?
Of course.
The landing page in the funnel, is that inside Omnisan?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing the
That's
funnel.
nothing to do with my website.
Nothing to do with your website. No.
Mm-hmm.
The money's in the funnels. I actually
Right.
grew my business to 6 figures with no website, just funnels.
Mm-hmm.
Websites are just glorified business cards. By the time they make their way to your website, they already know you. They're just doing their due diligence to get to know you more. Where a funnel is only one thing. When we build a funnel, there's only one thing. Opt in. No other choices. Give people choices they choose not to choose. So every single step in the funnel, which is probably another reason why we didn't get people into the Facebook group, is I had too many steps on the last page, right? I had join the Facebook group, check your email, go to start here, and go to home base. Like there was 4 things I told them to do on the thank you page. Too many. Especially top end of funnel, one thing only, opt in, done. Nothing else, no other offers. The only things that they can click on are the terms and conditions and the privacy policy at the bottom because you have to. Other than that, the only thing they can do is give you an email address to get any further. So once we know, what we'll build is, let me show you because we'll be building it for you. Back to this one. So what we do is we build a landing page and we get their name and their email. Then they go to another page, and on here we get you to put a little video, and there's only one thing they can do on here is upgrade to VIP, right? And if they don't, there's a no thanks button. If they go to VIP, they go to this landing page, which has a welcome video from you. And this is the thank you page for VIP. If they say no, thank you, they go to this page with a welcome video. And this is for your general admission. So this is what happens when we build your funnel. Then, of course, we've got all the emails and the reminders and everything up to the live event. You will then go live, and then we send them to a replay hub. But it has a countdown timer on it, and it goes away in 7 days. Right? And then when that expires, it goes to too late. Now, if people come in and they're too late, they will actually go to another thank you page that we move to the top of the funnel while we're rebuilding for the next one. And this is the wait list. So it's still the same domain, so same URL. So if anyone ends up going there, but we haven't reset the dates yet, they'll automatically join the wait list. It's exactly the same as this page. But they get another one that says, you know, we'll it goes straight to a thank you page and we'll, contact soon. And they'll be tagged to be brought back in when we turn this one back on again. So that you'll end up with inside your funnel, your opt-in page, your OTO page, which is your one-time offer, 2 different thank you pages, a replay hub, a wait list, and a waitlist confirmation page. All of those pages will be in one funnel for the live event. And then we just change dates and times when we move to the next launch. Now, there's been an update from the developers for the webinar. I need to check what's happening with that. There might be a very simple one where we can just say 3rd week, when it automatically does it. I've got a couple of different options so that we don't have to change it as often. A challenge, we have to change a few more things, but there's not a lot to change. And being you're done for you, each time you launch, we jump in and make the changes for you. You don't need to. We'll teach you, but we want you to earn while you learn, right? We want you to focus on the things that only you can do. Getting your training right, getting your pitch right. We'll help you look at the numbers and build the landing pages. Off the back end of all of this is all the reminder emails, posts that you'll put in the community group. We'll also give you all the templates and help you with those as well. But that right there, that is your funnel. So this part is what the front end user sees. Behind that is the automation, right? That is what they don't see that we build. For example, the confirmation email when they register, into the reminder emails, into the We Are Live email, into the replay emails. And then we go into the sales campaign. where we'll send multiple emails about your offer. Right? So that's a very basic, but that's what some of the back end will look like. There's a lot of little things that we do to make updating in the system smoother, with custom values and custom fields. So, for example, what custom values and custom fields are is, say, for example, your date changes. We change it in one place and it changes it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your hook, right? So my hook is currently how to find hidden clients in communities. If I decide to change that back to how to get high-ticket clients using Facebook communities, I would just change it in one place and it changes it everywhere. For those people who
Sure.
are running a 5-day or a 3-day challenge, we set up a custom value for the day's title and the subtitle. So again, when we update and say we change it because it didn't work well, we figured that the hook could be better, it not get to day 2 or 3. Let's change the title. We don't change the content, we change the title to be more attractive. We then just go and change it in one place, and it automatically changes on landing pages, in all the emails, in all the text messages. So custom values and custom fields are so powerful because you don't have to then go and check every single email, every single landing page, right? And you'll learn that.
Yeah.
But for now, focus on only what you can do and what you need to do. Get used to your course. Start going live weekly and teaching one part of the course, one lesson or 2 lessons. And remember, they don't have to be like a classroom lesson with 45 minutes to an hour. Some of them might just be 10 minutes.
So I'm going live on my own Facebook page, or where am I going live?
So you can go live anywhere you like. And for all of the members that are in here right now, we have a brand new spreadsheet that we're going to get all of our new 11 members who are in this cohort to, number 1, put in their launch dates, and number 2, put in their weekly live day and time. And you can go live on multiple places. So when you're going live, you can choose to just go live on YouTube. You could choose to go live on Facebook. I don't care where you go live, but choose one place that you're going to go live on consistently at the same time every single week. Just like Strategy with Sally. Here we are, 9 o'clock. Do you know last week I was late or nearly late because I was in the 10 o'clock launch week time block? Ash rang me at 15 minutes to the top of the hour and she goes, you know you're live in 10 minutes? And I'm like, what? 10 o'clock? She goes, no. Strategy with Sally is 9. And I'm like, oh, because I'd been 10 o'clock for the whole week before. Back to my normal slot, 9 o'clock live every week on a Tuesday forever. But the content sometimes is pieces of my course that I need to do. And I use, because this is the one day a week I make sure I put on makeup and I brush my hair. The rest of the week, you see me, I'll be my hair up and messy, no makeup. If you're coming into the VOZ, just the way I roll. Like, I'm not Shalene Johnson who has to always have her eyelashes on before she goes live like I used to. I don't have time for that, right? I'm not that. And some people do and they love it. And I love that she has the time and the freedom to do that, but it doesn't bring me joy. I do love eyelashes though, don't get me wrong. I do love my eyelashes, but only on a Tuesday do I make sure I have all this done up. So that's other days I will film other parts of my course. Like if we were to go dark now and I needed a lesson for the course, I would just teach it to you guys in this room and edit it later, right? My Tuesdays are my day that I will smash out content. Plus, it gets used as a podcast. Who knows how many episodes Mar's going to chop this lesson into for the podcast. So, yeah. How was that, Deborah? A little bit of an overview for you of what's to come in the build that we're doing. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting, and yeah, I feel like I really want to get into it and start having a clear vision of what's going to be in my course. Yeah.
So pick a day and a time that you know come hell or high water, unless you're sick, you're going to go live. The family know, my family know, Tuesday's 9 o'clock. My husband's like, come on, it's 8 o'clock, get up. Right? If like today was totally unscripted. I had no script, nothing. I just, candid conversation. That's what I'm, just talk. But sometimes it's a lesson and I've got to have dot points and things ready. But generally, I think I showed you all my KKK books, right? Sometimes I'll just open that and teach something. But right now for you, Deborah, because you're still trying to get your head around it, always teach something from your course every week. If it doesn't go well, you can go back and you watch it and you can improve on it and do it a few weeks later. Everything that's in my course is somewhere out there on the internet, everything. But I've got tens of thousands of videos now. No one's going to know how to put it together in the right order. And also, if they're not in the program, I'm not going to review their messaging. I'm not going to write their pitch. I'm not going to look at their sexy numbers. I'm not going to watch their sales calls with them if they just go online. So what are they paying for? ACE, accountability, community, enhanced opportunity. So don't worry about oversharing. That's something I got from Amy Porterfield. Don't be scared to overshare, because you can't share enough in a 1 hour, 2 hour, even a 7 hour live that's actually going to give them all the steps, because they won't take it. They'll just get overwhelmed.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience of going through a course now for about, I'm in my 8th or 9th month of the course. This is the practicum stage. And each time we basically repeat very similar things. And each time it's not new to me, but it's still necessary for me to hear. So, and that's someone who's coming to learn and to understand, to be able to use the tools. So I completely agree with you that whatever people hear, it goes in one ear, it goes out the other. They pick something up, but it's not. I know that.
Yeah, always
it takes a lot of effort to learn something.
Yeah. I always say turn up with your student hat on and always look for a golden nugget that you didn't hear before. Even if it's somebody who is less experienced than you, they've probably got a little gem in there that you've never heard said that way before.
Yeah,
that could resonate with you as well. And that's why are people successful? RIM, repetition, immersion, and modeling a proven practice. That's the reason why I was able to scale my business, because I paid for a coach and I followed their method for at least 12 months to 2 years before I went and learned another method. And this is why our clients stay with us for years, because we are just going through one season together in 12 months and we're learning, right? I mean, the reason why I know you need to launch in January is because I've been through the seasons with health coaches before.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't launch in December and January is because I'm targeting business owners who want to take a bloody break.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And the first year I went through that season, I had no money through December and January because I didn't know. And then when I restarted this business, I forgot about the January, and I forgot, and I didn't launch in August, September, October-ish to prepare for January and December and January. And I'm like, oh, you idiot. You've done this before. You even teach this, right? I've been through the seasons. I should have remembered. A bit like the drip account, right? You got to mess up before you realize. All right. Jenka's in the house. So good to see you. Come on up. Let me just double check you're able to come up. There he is. Hello. So you have your infographic now too, I do believe.
I do. Absolutely.
Yes.
I do. Absolutely. It's great. Yes. How you doing?
I saw that your lesson plan came in, the emails. Beverly let me know. So we're going to review that and start working on the funnel side for you. How are you feeling now that you've been able to sit with your framework in your course framework that we built for you now?
So I'm excited about it. And I just look at it as like how it is that it's enhancing my offer and also kind of taking away from the crazy customization that goes along with, because I mean, my offer is is writing books for business owners. Is writing books for business owners as far as with the what? Huh? Okay. Go ahead now. See for a second. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Is writing books for business owners. And so that is something that is huge for me and being able to tell people stories. And so there's so much customization in that in our top tier offer that being able to have a core offer that is below that has been huge for us and been huge been big for that. So that's been a big thing for us, definitely.
I love that. Yeah. So here's a, you just said core offer as well, which I really love. So here,
Yes,
when when you're developing your offers, like who's heard of the value ladder before, right? And
I
and
have.
a lot of
Now,
people
Sally,
say,
actually, can I need to, somebody's at my door. I'm sorry. I'll
yeah,
be
you're
right
all
back. I
right.
promise.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I'll be
that's
right back.
okay.
I'll be right back. Okay, cool. But I'm with you.
So lots of people have heard about the value ladder. And what I found over the years is if you keep trying to build this value ladder before you've dialed in your core offer, you actually slow down the growth of your business. Because the type of people that are attracted to a $7 offer versus a three, four, five, $6,000 offer, totally different messaging, different types of people. And why are we trying to attract a $27 sale when we could sell a $2,000 offer once and make 2 grand? Or how many? 10? No. Uh, what is it? God, Sally, don't do math live. I say this all the time. 2,000 divided by 210. No, 2,000 divided by 20, 100. It's much harder to get 100 yeses on a $20 offer than it is to get one yes on a $2,000 offer. It's just math. And you'll still convert slightly differently. There'll be a slight higher conversion rate at $20, but it'll never match the return on investment as all roads lead to core. So the first step is free. It's free for them, and they pay us with an email address. The next step up is, we call it the tripwire. There's a lot of different names for it. Tripwire, OTO, one-time offer, upsell, but it's a tripwire. And it's usually between $1 to sort of $47. It's in that price range that you don't need to go and ask permission, which you should never do. You should ask for support, not permission, but you don't have to. You know, it's like standing at the checkout. I want that packet of Smarties. It's pretty cheap. I'll just chuck it on the counter. We're still not trying to sell the tripwire. That is not our focus. That is just in the funnel, just to hopefully get some of our ad money back. Then we have our evergreen courses, if you've got them. Right? So it's just they go in, they do the course, they leave. They don't get any support. They just buy it, they go through it. You send them some welcome emails, but that's it. The next one is your course or your signature method plus coaching. So your course will be anywhere from sort of the 47, it could be up to 2 to 3K. Right? But once you have a course and coaching, now you should be at sort of 2 to 3K plus, even more than that, depending on how long the program's for, what the value of it is. You know, we run the math on that together. So all our messaging, all our challenges, all our webinars, all our email copy, all roads lead to core offer. Why core offer? Because trying to get your messaging right for this and this and this and this and this, it's very hard. We just focus on messaging for this. Then above that, we have the premium product, which is premium, which is usually one-on-one right at the top here. So they're our done for you clients. These people here are our academy clients, our course. Now you don't need all of these. All roads lead to here. So that way, when we're making things, we have our program. We know clearly what our program is. We know clearly what our promise is. We know clearly what the package is. We know clearly what the messaging is. Right? And we are constantly tweaking that to sell one thing only. Now, that doesn't mean we don't mention our premium program, because people come in and they think they just want coaching, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to have to build the tech. Can you do it for me? And they upgrade. Right? They're like, I don't want to write my offer myself and you review it. Can you just help me write it? And that's where they'll do the mapping session, or they'll pay up front to get a mapping session. So doesn't mean we don't mention these other things, but until you hit your revenue goal, all roads lead to the core offer. Focus on getting that right. And your free training is your launch. And the way in which your launch works is, here's your signature method, as we know. And this is your big A to Z. And your your lead magnet. And in our community, it's teaching somebody something live and eventually evergreening it. So it's usually a webinar, a mini training, a challenge, a boot camp, whatever you want to call it. We turn up, we teach live, because we build know, like, and trust factor quicker. It's a little mini A to Z. And it might just be this tiny little piece of the program here. And then we build the gap back to the program. So that's what the gap is, because we can only teach so much in a webinar or in a 3-day challenge. And when we're choosing what to teach, we choose one of two things: either a high level overview where we teach these as your pillars, or a little mini section where we teach those as your pillars. And then we build the gap back to the program. And that is the skill and the strategy behind the stuff we teach is easy, right? It's a few dot points and an activity or a workbook, or even just draw on a piece of paper or snap a photo. The gap is learning how to position your offer in a way that you don't scare people. You should also not teach them too much in your training, because if they leave the training feeling 100% empowered and they believe they can do it by themselves, you are actually doing them a disservice, because if they could do it themselves, they would have done it already. They're at your training and they've clicked the button because they've been struggling to do it by themselves. So we need to show them that you will teach them what they need to know, not everything you know, but also you need to take them on a journey. You can do it, but you need help. You can do it, but you need help, right? And that is just a skill you will learn. And that's the strategy behind the teaching: building the gap, seeding the next day, having a good hook. These are just skills. And when you get them, if you notice, all of my lives, I don't just sit there and wait for the live to go live. And then you see me come on screen and I'm like, oh, okay, now we're live. I'm just waiting for people to come in. No. I go live and I go, have you ever struggled with insert the thing? Wouldn't you like to be able to insert the thing? Nobody's going to see it except for the live people. But what am I doing? Hook. Giving them something that will hopefully be enticing enough for them to watch. You go and push play on all my videos, you'll see hook. Sometimes I talk too soon. I even cut off the front of the words that I'm saying. So there's a few second delay sometimes between being live and going live. If you're streaming to Facebook, here's another hot tip. When the screen goes white, You are actually live. Don't wait for the screen to show your photo, because that's just the delay. And that's where you'll see people for that first 5 to 10 seconds just sitting there because they're waiting for their picture to come on the screen. But actually, when the screen goes white, you are actually live. So start talking so that you don't have that wait, because you got 3 seconds. Because how fast do people flick through? You got 3 seconds. Grab them up front. Every single time you go live, start with a hook. I've got a whole framework for your lives as well. But for now, Deborah, all I want you to do is teach and practice. I don't need you to worry about all the strategy, because you need the confidence in the content first. Oh, Jenga, he's back. Did you happen to catch that little bit of training right there while you ducked out?
I did. That was amazing. As far as with the, focusing to the core offer, being able to sell to that, and that being the enhancement. I know that in our initial strategy session, it was something that you said about having the shiny thing that's on the table, the pretty thing that's on the table, that then makes that other offer even more appetizing as far as be able to do that. And so that's something that that has been a focus of mine when I've been talking about it and thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so doing that and being able to push that where that core offer can be there, and to be able to go from that. I mean, me having sold from the front of the room in live events quite a bit, that this is not foreign to me, but I love it because it's helpful. Because it's helpful in thinking about the 5-day challenge that we're building and those different things as far as that. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. And being able to move forward with it. So yes.
Yeah. Yes, Sarah just said, so good. Pretty thing on the table, pointing to the offer put nicely. Yeah. So we talk about putting the price of your one-on-one so high that your core offer, which is your course with coaching, looks more valuable. So if I come in and say it's 25 grand to work with me, and then I tell you it's $9,000 to join the academy, most people are going to take the academy. And those people like Jenga and Deborah and Sarah, though, are going to also raise their hand and go, and build it for me, please.
Right.
But not everybody who's joined the academy is a Build It client. They're part of the studio. They're part of just the academy, and they're going to build it themselves. But I'm so happy. We've got most people here. We've actually filled 11 of the 12 spots for this upcoming cohort. So excited. We've got some new resources that are about to drop for you soon. I'm just having them eyeballed, because me and my grammar and my spelling and all the things, Ash is eyeballing them. Yes, she's on holidays and she said she would eyeball them for me. Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, we have totally gone over time, and I will shut it down. I am here to continue answering questions for those people in the VIP room, so hang around. We have just continued streaming. Normally I go dark straight away, and I just got a bit carried away there. So as always, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get at least one income-producing activity done each and every day, and I do not believe I've got an outro. I forgot the prizes. I haven't even set up the spinning wheel. I will be back for the prize draw, and I will post it in the group for this week's live. So every week there will be prize draws. There's always a live challenge happening inside the GSD Facebook group. If you watched last week's, you would have seen the Go Live in 5 challenge for last week. That's other opportunities. We continue adding to the prize wheel every month. So make sure you do participate in all the challenges that still continue to happen between launches, and it's generally live, because I want you to keep practicing going live and teaching people stuff and getting vulnerable and all that. All right, guys, I am going to shut it down now. I said that, but I don't think I've got an outro screen. We'll just see what happens. Bye. Oh, everyday be marketing.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.